Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the programme tonight, as the row over hijabs in Karnataka intensifies, with the situation in areas getting violent, we bring you our interview with the young woman in a hijab who took on the men who surrounded her just outside her college. Also, the senior Congress leader Shashi Tharoor on why the hijab issue seems a deliberate effort at polarization, plus our debate on what this is all about. But first, let's bring you that video of Bibi Muskan Khan, the young student we spoke about, who I interview and you'll see that in just a few moments. Let's play that out as she defied the men around her. And this is what Bibi Muskan Khan told us just a little while back. Bibi, thank you very much for speaking to us. You were alone over there in this video. Were you not worried when you chose to confront these bullies around you?
Sir, I was not worried. Actually, what happened is I was just want to submit the assignment. That's why I entered the college and they were not allowing me to go inside just because I was carrying the burqa.
Yeah.
So they were not allowing me. Somehow I came inside. After that, they start shouting and start giving the slogan as Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Then I started to scream as Allahu Akbar.
And Muskan, have you seen any of these boys before? Are they part of the same institution?
Sir, I didn't got
Can you hear me now?
Sir, yes, you are audible to me.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to ask you, have you seen any of the men before or are they outsiders?
Somehow some members were from outsiders and also from 10% from college, but all were the outsiders. Our principal and all the lecturers have supported me. And supported me and protected me.
And so, Muskan, what we see that at one stage, you go into the college. Is that when the principal and teachers perhaps protected you to ensure that nobody hurt you?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Principals, everyone has protected me so that no one hurts me just because all young stars were crowded me and start giving the slogans as Jai Shri Ram and something blackmails like this. So all the principals, lecturers have supported me.
Muskan, have you always worn a burqa or a hijab in this college?
Yes, sir. All time, like from when I am studying, all time I used to carry the burqa, hijab. But when I used to go for the class, I removed the burqa and I just carried the hijab.
So therefore, the hijab is part of the uniform, or it has always been allowed?
Yes, sir. It was just part of us. Actually, principal has nothing. He has said nothing. These outsiders have started this.
So let me understand this. Wearing a burqa, you used to go to college and you used to remove the burqa, just wear the hijab, and you used to go to class and nobody said anything, or there was never any issue of this in the past?
No, sir. Actually, from yesterday it has started. So yesterday, principal, like this itself has been created. So principal has just guided us not to carry the, they are very anger mood. So it's better you do not carry this like this. He has just guided us. Today he has protected me. Like all my lectures, principals have been protected me. That everyone were from outsiders and just 10% were from my college.
If you are not allowed to continue wearing a hijab, will you be able to continue your education in the same place, or will you continue your protests? Or
no, we will continue. We will wear hijab because it's a part of being a Muslim girl.
Right. So you will continue to protest if you're not allowed. That's my question.
Yes, yes.
Have you, Muskan, received support from people across religions, your Hindu friends, I don't know, friends of other communities?
Everyone were in the class. So these boys were standing. I just guess they were from outsiders. So our principal and lecturers has supported us.
What about friends in college? Are there others?
So, before me, 5 friends has been come, like Muslim girls. So they were crying because same thing has happened with them.
What happened to them?
They were not allowing inside. So they said, you remove burqa or else go for your home. You are not allowed to enter this college.
Muskan, I'm just trying to understand, your Hindu friends, for example, did they oppose what is happening around you? Did they say that these are bullies trying to be aggressive with you?
Yes, sir, they even supported us. They said, it's your religion, it's our religion, you do follow, even we do follow. This all are from outsiders.
And are you worried? I mean, you must be feeling a bit unsafe now, or do you not feel unsafe?
No, sir. I am feeling safe itself because every from morning till now, every police, everyone are coming and telling that we are with you. Don't worry, like this.
And Muskan, 1 or 2 final questions. Your priority is your education. Do you believe that ultimately that is what is being denied?
Yes, sir. Our priority is our education. They are just for a piece of cloth. They are ruining our education, sir.
And just as a matter of curiosity, what are you studying, Muskan?
Sir, I am BCom from second year, sir. BCom.
You're a BCom second year student.
BCom,
well,
yes.
Good luck with your studies, and hopefully this madness all around you will come to an end and you can focus on your education, because that's frankly what this is, where it should all be. And thank you for having the courage to speak out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Muskan. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
So is this an effort at polarization ahead of the elections in so many parts of the country? Is this an effort at marginalizing Muslims and Muslim women in this particular case? Or were these spontaneous protests by students carrying saffron shawls which they held or they wore? Joining us now, Raghupati Bhatt, BJP MLA from the Udupi constituency, where a lot of the protests are taking place. I'm also joined by Zeba Shireen, leader of the Campus Front of India, and Majid Memon, the senior leader of the NCP and senior advocate of the Supreme Court, for a look at the legal aspects of this, and that's so very important. Mr. Gopal Krishnachar, sir, it's been repeatedly said that these were not spontaneous counter protests by these boys with saffron shawls. It's part of an effort at religious polarization. How would you respond?
Mr. Som, I think this has been a hatched plan of 2 organizations. One is PFI. Through their political wing SDPI, they want to grab the Muslim votes in the coastal region, because PFI and SDPI, they have got their roots in Kerala. This is one. Another thing, Congress is trying to compete with these organizations because they are scared of their vote bank being snatched away by this PFI and SDPI. That's why it is a competition between Congress and PFI that has created such a ruckus in the state of Karnataka.
Are you suggesting that no association of the BJP, no body associated with the BJP in any form was responsible for giving out these shawls or encouraging these students to protest?
Sir, I tell you, in fact, purchasing a saffron shawl.
No, sir, forget about purchasing. I'm asking you, sir, was no body organization associated with the BJP? Right. None.
No, sir. No, sir.
All right.
No, sir.
Zeba Shireen, do you accept that?
Sir, you must know. Sir, you must know we are in the ruling here.
1 minute, sir. You made a point, very strong one. Zeba Shireen, do you accept that?
No, absolutely. There is a clear and conscious and intentional to create religious polarization and create what? A pogrom after this intentionally created violence. More than 18 places in Karnataka is under violence. It's a very violent situation, and that is very clear. The situations happen today in Karnataka really said how have insist the Hindu students to wear saffron shawls and to go and chant Jai Shri Ram.
What Madhusudana ji is saying is that none of the bodies that encouraged this were part of the BJP in any way, shape or form. I'm asking you if you know or if you have any allegations of the groups which may be involved as he does.
Yeah, Yashpal Suvarna, I hope you remember the name. Yashpal Suvarna is a BJP leader who is constantly behind this situation. They are creating. He led the chairmanship of the PTA meeting of that Udupi school, Udupi college. And what has happened there? They were trying to expel the students, expel the Muslim girls wearing hijab from the college, out of the college. This is even today they were allowed to come into the college, but they were sat separately in another class. But that was not even a class. That was an auditorium. See how intentionally this is a institutionalized discrimination.
All right, institutionalized discrimination. Madhusudana ji, that is the key point over here. If the central goal of this government, is Beti Padhao, then why deny these girls their education on the basis of what they are wearing?
Sir, BJP has been ruling this country for the last almost 2 years now. And earlier also BJP has ruled this state. And nothing has happened all these days. So this is the creation of certain Muslim organizations like PFI. They want to create another Taliban in this country.
Sir, none of these students were coerced into wearing a hijab or a burqa, sir. I'm sure that is not your assertion either. Has there been any submission by anybody that these students wearing the hijab were coerced by somebody into wearing it? There is no evidence of that, sir.
Sir, I tell you, all these days it was not there. It was not there at all.
Right, and all these days, sir, exactly. All these days it was not there. It was not there because students went into class wearing a hijab or a burqa. It was never an issue.
So please listen to me. I am 62 today. And I was a student some 40 years ago. And there has been a uniform in the state of Karnataka. I remember wearing uniform. All these days,
she just said that she was allowed to go into her classes in the previous interview. Nobody stopped her. So, uniforms is one thing, but wearing a hijab has been allowed. Now it is apparently not allowed. Why?
No, it was not there at all.
It was not there?
Not there at all.
All right.
Zeba
Shireen, is that factually correct? That hijabs were never allowed as part of the uniform? How is it then that students have been going in till a few days back with no protest or anything?
No. The students have already cleared that they were going to the colleges wearing the hijab and following the uniform. There wasn't any issue regarding that. But suddenly, from nowhere, they.
All right, we've lost Zeba's line over there. Let me go across to Majid Memon. Sir, the bottom line over here, and correct me if I'm wrong, wearing a hijab or a burqa is considered a part of religious practice. Not only is it part of the constitution, there is a judgment of the Supreme Court which has validated a certain interpretation as maintained by the constitution. Therefore, it's not enough to say that, look, this is a uniform code that we have in this particular institution. The law of the land comes first, right?
Now, Vishnu, kindly give me a couple of minutes. You see, what this raging controversy with regard to hijab in Karnataka is something shocking, because now this is BJP ruled state. Well, everybody knows that. And now I have heard Muskan, I have heard Zeba. Of course, Muskan has very courageously come out and said that, well, she has been wearing hijab all the while, and she takes it out in the classroom in order to honor the rule of uniform.
No, she
And
wears the hijab, takes off the burqa.
This particular gentleman from BJP is saying that hijab was never worn, and this is not introduced. Now, and one more thing I would ask this our BJP friend, that Karnataka is just a part of India. There are thousands and thousands of schools and colleges throughout India. Why there is no controversy in other states with regard to hijab? Do you think that Muslim girls are not wearing hijabs in other colleges and schools in other states throughout India? Well, I think he should understand. And even in Karnataka, till even COVID, now, of course, the education suffered for a couple of years. All the students, Beti Padhao, as you rightly said, they've already suffered immense loss of education for the past 2 years because of medical ground of COVID. Now that the schools and colleges have resumed, they have started suddenly that certain unknown people. You were trying to ask Zeba whether she knows who the people who are obstructing your entry with hijab. They would not know but is it difficult for the administration? Is it difficult for the authorities to identify who they are, who are wanting to have some Hindu slogans or asking girls not to enter the premises of the college? Who are they? Can't their identity be established? In a matter of 10 minutes, it can be established once the police hauls them up. They would be known who they are, at whose instance they are doing it, what is their motive, what is their intention, why were they not objecting to it. So all these questions are there. But now as you ask me about constitution, you see, let me tell you, Vishnu, that since the matter is midway, the Honorable High Court has heard some submissions from parties and is going to declare its mind tomorrow. As an officer of court myself, it would be breach of my professional duty if I comment on that. What the
one interpretation versus the other.
But only one thing, Somo, I will add before I wind up. You see, the Honorable Court is to embark upon the constitutional rights of educational institution with regard to certain compulsions to be imposed upon students in uniform policy implementation, and on the other side, the right of the citizens to wear the clothes and follow the customs of its religion under Article 25, 19, 14, 21. So there is a confrontation of two sides. The Honorable High Court is certainly going to hold a scale and decide which prevails. And we will get the
let's see when that actually
tomorrow.
Happens. 2:30 p.m. tomorrow is when the hearing happens again. Raghupati Bhatt, who is responsible for the protests in Udupi and elsewhere?
Please, I am hearing your all discussions. In this, half are right and half are wrong. See, the issue started in our PU Girls College Udupi.
Yes. Where
from the earlier, before 2002, the uniform code was followed and hijab was not part of the uniform. Suddenly, 2021 December, 12 of the Muslim girls demanded that we want to wear the hijab. Again, I'll tell you, hijab was allowed up to classroom. When they sit to the class, they used to remove the hijab and attend the class. It was earlier from 2002, we have a record. But earlier than that also, it was a practice. Then suddenly, December, they have started this. See, I will show you a photographs because they're saying that, see, this is an assembly. More than 1,000 students are there. It was on November 1, Kannada Rajyotsava. That day, it was an assembly of the college. In this, you cannot see single person wearing the hijab.
No, but what is your problem if they wear a hijab and they decided to wear it yesterday or day before? What difference does it make?
So what is the meaning of uniform? Uniform means equality. So equality
but
in
sir,
the classroom.
But sir, today you are saying that women students, Raghupati ji, today you are saying that these women students shouldn't wear a hijab. Tomorrow will you say that a Sikh boy cannot wear a turban? Or a Hindu girl cannot, I don't know, wear a bindi? Or a Christian man or woman cannot wear a cross?
Vishnuji,
where does this end?
Bindi, bangle is not part of the uniform. The dress code is part. In our college, the dress code, it says that uniform,
but
the shawl should be wear in the shoulder.
To people of all faiths.
Just allow me to talk. See, in our uniform code, it is showed that the shawl is wear in the shoulder. It is written in our religion. And these students, they have signed. So students and parents and signed. They have agreed for that and attended the classroom, college.
And
see,
so,
out
for
of
a
6
uniform
students,
code, you will deny these girls their education.
Just hear me. Just give me 2 minutes. See, these 6 students, out of 6, 4 are from second PUC. They have attended 1.5 years without hijab in the classroom. 2 are first PUC. They have attended 6 months without hijab in the classroom.
No, but
is
sir,
allowed in the.
What difference does it make that they didn't wear a hijab earlier and are wearing it now?
No,
it's
what is the
choice.
difference of?
It's a religious symbol.
No, yeah, I'll tell you. If you one Hindu girl sit in the middle, one Christian and one Muslim, if one wear hijab, where is the uniform?
Why? What is wrong with it?
What is the meaning of
uniform? The uniform code is secondary, sir, to the law of the land.
Uniform is important,
a religious symbol is protected by the Constitution of India.
Religious,
what uniform dress code are you talking about, sir?
Mr. Bhatt, I am only asking one simple question, Mr. Bhatt.
What is a uniform?
Yes.
The uniform is a religious practice, sir.
No, Vishnu, one question to Mr. Bhatt.
All right, Mr. Mehman, quick word. Yes, quickly.
No, Mr. Bhatt.
And in the, one minute, that is allowed in the public place and until the classroom.
Mr. Bhatt, 30 seconds, sir. Let Majid Mehman, Mr. Mehman has a point and then I need to wrap this up.
Yes, Mr. Bhatt, I would humbly ask you one question. You see, your argument is that if a couple of girls chose not to wear hijab, you would give their illustration and say that, look here, those 2 girls are not wearing hijab, therefore you should not wear hijab. This is ridiculous.
No.
You see, it is
I am not saying that. I am saying
naturally, that. And in assembly, you are showing some photograph of assembly. Now see, in your presence.
All right, Mr. Mehman, I need to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I'm completely out of time. But I think it's a choice of individuals to decide to wear what they want, particularly since what they were wearing is protected by our Constitution. Let us pray there is no violence over what has taken place. Those students are safe. A quick couple of questions which have come in on coup. Palash says, how is religious polarization going to benefit Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao? Manohar Mahato says, when Beti is not allowed to enter the colleges, then how will she get an education? A total failure of Beti Padhao and its slogan. Well, to try and get his views on what this may actually be about, I spoke to the senior Congress leader, Shashi Tharoor. I'm joined now by the senior Congress leader, Shashi Tharoor. The argument, Mr. Tharoor, that there are uniform rules and that precedes the Constitution, or that somehow precedes Supreme Court judgments which have interpreted the Constitution and religious practices and what that entails, that's odious, utterly, right? A rule saying uniform doesn't...
Even assuming, I think some of these incidents actually happen in colleges, and colleges don't have uniforms, but let's say some happen in high schools. If they have a uniform policy, what will they do if a Sikh student wants to wear a turban in a color that is appropriate to the rest of the uniform? I mean, I don't understand where you draw the line. How can we take a stand, for example, that turbans are acceptable and hijabs are not? They're both visible signs of affiliation to a religious commitment. And so the Sikh wears a turban with pride. It's an integral part of his faith. And to some Muslims, I agree, not all, this is what they consider appropriate attire. Now, attire might change over time and evolve, but there is no doubt that in some families, this is an issue, so much so that some parents have even gone to court to defend the rights of their children to dress this way. Some have won in some states, some have lost in other states. Perhaps this is an issue that eventually will end up again on the Supreme Court. But for now, the constitutional position is very clear. People are fully entitled to practice their religion in the way they see appropriate, even to propagate their religion in the way they see appropriate, so that if they say that for them a visible mark of their identification with the faith, it could be a turban and a beard when it comes to a Sikh, it could be a saffron attire and a tilak if it comes to a Hindu, it could be a crucifix if it comes to a Christian, and it could be a hijab or a niqab or a burqa or whatever when it comes to a Muslim. All of these are constitutionally protected forms of attire. I'm embarrassed to even be discussing what other people should and shouldn't wear. Isn't what we wear, what we dress, one of the most basic choices that we as free Indian citizens can make? it seems to me preposterous. All right, so you go to a place where there is a uniform, but the uniform can be surely modified to permit a turban, to permit a veil. I don't understand who it bothers. In fact, if anything, it seems to me that it would be the women who may have to experience greater discomfort if they're in a garment that makes them feel hot on a hot day or whatever. I mean, to me, it's their choice. And I think we're forgetting that the key issue here, Vishnu, is one of choice. It's not really one of attire.
Right.
It is, can we please let the women, and where appropriate their families, determine what is right for them. Let it not be for any external institution, and certainly not for individuals of other faiths, to tell these Muslim women what they can and cannot wear. I'm sure there are some Muslim women who don't want to wear the hijab or don't want to wear the niqab or whatever the other options are in their community. I certainly know Muslim women who don't, but I would accept and uphold the rights of those Muslim women who do.
Right.
And I think that if we can just see it purely and simply as a question of choice and of respecting the choice of our fellow citizens, then the matter goes. I mean, I don't like being told, for example, as a politician, that I should be wearing a white kurta pajama every day. I chose to wear color. And after a while it became accepted, and more politicians are doing that.
Sure.
But the truth is, it's my choice, it's my rights. It's got nothing to do with anything else. And it's certainly nobody else's business. So,
absolutely.
It's one of the things that I don't understand about this is, why do these people not answer why it bothers them? Why does it bother them? How does it affect their rights? How does it affect their freedoms in school? The people who are objecting to a practice that has no bearing on them. It doesn't affect their lives in any way. So what gives them the right to object?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, we leave it over there. For 3 days, colleges and schools are shut, and the High Court hears this again tomorrow. Let's hope that nobody gets hurt in any of this.
To the final point, Vishnu, since you mentioned the closing of schools, anything that jeopardizes the education of our children of any religion and any gender, to my mind, would be a real national tragedy.
Yeah, because Beti Padhao is a national initiative.
To development
Beti Padhao is a brilliant national initiative. And these girls can't study because they're told what you wear is all of a sudden unacceptable. That defeats the purpose of Beti Padhao.
Precisely the point. And I think that if we can please respect that educating girls is the single best contribution we can make to our own country's development, and for God's sake, allow them to study in whatever garment they want to wear.
All right, Shashi Tharoor, thanks very much for speaking to us. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Vishnu.